to the crux of it, like I've got a really top line, half a dozen slides, which I'll probably, and I've got a second monitor, a larger monitor, which will be on the table. That's more of a visual aid, but I just want to really try and get to the root of why they want to talk to me, and basically how we best use that 12 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. So I guess this applies to most types of trade shows. The shows that I would always recommend doing are the ones obviously you're doing, which are planned, scheduled meetings, a little bit sort of speed dating in format. And that could be the same if you're doing like a North American road show or something like that, where you've got somewhere between 8 and 15 minute appointments, but there's obviously some desire for both parties to check each other out. So it's a small window, and you've obviously, you're on the right track with the visual aids. So I guess what I would say, first of all, look, I'll just go through it in the way that I used to approach it. All the magic's going to happen in the subsequent follow-up. Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you best utilize that 12-minute appointment? The way that I would do it is that, and you've got obviously, over 4 days, you're going to have how many appointments? Like 9. What's the total number of appointments you've got for the full 4 days?
Oh, I'd have at least about 70, I think, Josh.
Yeah, exactly. So what you don't want to be doing is like on autopilot running through the same presentation 70 times. Like that's, A, it's sort of not productive. B, it gets really exhausting for you, and you can't have the same sort of spark that you had,
Correct.
At the beginning. And also put yourself in the shoes of the buyer as well. They're going to be absolutely cooked by, midway through day one. So what is best is for you to use it as a relationship building exercise and a learning exercise. So I guess I'll jump first of all over to a couple of things that will help, and you've obviously seen these in the program. I guess it helps to sort of highlight what I'm talking about. So obviously it goes without saying, and I don't want to state the obvious, but doing your homework is incredibly important. If you don't go down here into week 3, and you've got here one of those accompanying resources, the ATE Buyer's Guide for last year. Yeah. You've obviously got this.
Yep.
So, and you've obviously, for every appointment, you're going to have done your homework.
Yeah.
So
correct.
obviously you're going to know how old the company is, what sort of travel they do. Obviously you're wanting something in the luxury space, possibly mid-range. And obviously you're wanting them to align with you in the sort of trips they cater for. And ideally get an insight into how many packs they send into Australia. That's sort of information you're not going to be wasting your time asking them. You're obviously going to know that.
Correct.
Off the gun. So what you are going to have is a presentation that's going to look kind of a little like this, but not like this, in the sense that I haven't got a ready-made example for you. But let's say you've got your marketing materials, i.e. your full blow-by-blow tour descriptions, but like this, right? So your presentation, rather than, this is obviously going to be your subsequent marketing material follow-up at some point. We'll get to the follow-up in a second, but you're obviously going to have a tour. And now let's say this copy here has got 2 pages. Okay. Yours is going to differ in that you're going to have a presentation where instead of just having one hero image, you're going to have sort of, 3 or 4 per tour, hero images per slide. Rather than having a full detailed tour summary, well, they're not going to churn through all this content in a presentation. You're going to have this broken down into 2 or 3 bullet points per page with an accompanying hero image. You know what I mean? So you're going to be just walking people through the key features of your tours, rather than having something that looks like this. That's obvious, I'm sure. So you're going to have a training presentation that might have highlights in bullet points. It might have some inclusions in bullet points. But certainly it's going to have key features and points of difference in those bullet points, with a couple of really, really cool hero images. So that's going to form that's the essence of your training presentation. Is that I'm sure you're aware of that. You're on the right on the money.
Yeah, I've got that. I'm pretty sure I've got that.
Okay, so you might even have a slide to begin with. This is the way my marketing materials start. Obviously yours, might have like a first slide that just has some kind of, you know, like hero image for your company or something like that. And then probably the second slide would be something on the lines of why are we different, or why us, and it's going to have 3 or 4 bullet points, you know, those compelling points of difference. How are we different to everyone else? Okay. And that may or may not be the only thing you actually ever get to in a presentation. You know, like obviously I'm guessing that what you're looking for, if we're not working together, you're looking for an alternative. You're looking for a supplier that's doing something different to anything else out there that you currently got in your product portfolio. So here's how we're different to all the others. You know, there's a lot of companies out here in Sydney that are really great at doing A and B and C, but over here at Picture Me Sydney, we're different in the sense that we A, we B, and we C. Okay. So that would be a good leading, you know, like, because that's what ultimately people want to know is how you're different. The second thing that you could do in a secondary slide, and you're not going to run through these, you know, in this you know, order necessarily, but your second slide might be the other key things that an agent is looking for, which is things like, you know, how long you've been around for, your bandwidth, you know, how many vehicles you've got, your number of impeccably trained tour guides. It could be your, you know, capacity, how many customers that you served last year. So something that gives an agent the confidence that you're able to deliver consistently to scale, and they're going to be able to send you, you know, hundreds of bookings a year, and you're going to be able to deliver in, like, booking 1 is going to receive an experience that's identical to booking number 95. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yeah, no, good points. Yep. Frequency of tours. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So that stuff.
Bookings last year, so it gives credibility to what we can, as you
Yeah.
say, what we can and scale up.
Exactly.
Yep.
So have I just been sharing my screen?
No.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, anyway, yeah. Okay. I probably should. I thought I was sharing the screen. That's annoying. So
what
I
was understood what you were saying. That's all right.
What I was just showing you here was in the Inside the Tour Business resources.
There we go.
So so have a look at my tour descriptions and think about how that would be sort of molded into a presentation. Okay.
Yeah, sure. No, I've used that as a template. Okay.
Yeah, great. So what you're doing, you're breaking down the tour summary into, you know, 2 or 3 key bullet points, key features. Okay. So then you've got all that stuff ready and waiting. And the best thing for you to do, and the thing that an agent responds well to, is for you to get a bit curious. So what you do have already, based on the, you know, the buyer's guide about that, you know, key information about that buyer, you've got all those details about who they send into Melbourne, into Sydney, how many, whether they're luxury, blah, blah, blah. So now you probably dig a little deeper. So what are you guys currently doing in Sydney? What do your customers do in Sydney? What are those gaps? What are those holes? What are some of the things that they do in other destinations that you haven't really been able to nail in Sydney? What would you love to see more of? What is, you know, have you got a current supply that's just not offering the type of experiences that you feel that your customers would like? What would you like to see? Would you like to see something new in the market? What would that look like? You know, so just extract a bit of information from them. Okay.
Yep.
And that might go on, and just be a bit curious. And you got a piece of paper, you're taking copious notes.
Yep. Okay.
And you're using language. You're making note of language they use, information that they give you. What do their customers love about Sydney? What do they love about other destinations? You know, all this sort of stuff. And you're like, okay, great. And then once you might, so therefore break it the 12 minutes down into a minute or 2 to break the ice, a minute or 2 to just put a spotlight on, with a couple of great images on who you are, what you do, why you're different, and some other key features about, you know, bandwidth, number of tours you run, passengers you served last year, vehicles you've got in your fleet. You know, some of those things that give an agent confidence that you're going to be able to, you know, you're international already. Okay.
So coming back to one of your core comments a moment ago, Josh, like I got rejected for one meeting. They just said, look, we've already got a local Sydney supplier servicing us. So
Yeah.
thank you, but we won't meet.
Yeah.
Without sounding aggressive, like I just had to accept their decision, but
Yeah.
without sounding aggressive, like how do you dig into what are you like what your current suppliers are doing and what are the gaps? Is it as simple as asking that question? What are the current suppliers and what are the gaps?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, you as a business owner should have 2 or 3 compelling reasons to choose you above all others anyway.
Got
So,
those.
there's
Yeah,
those. You wouldn't be sort of, arguing the toss or debating the point with them, but that's fine because there's a big opportunity in subsequent follow up. Like you could respond to that by saying, yeah, I totally get it. I would think that most people would have a preferred supplier in Sydney. What I would say is that there's a bunch of guys and girls doing X, Y, and Z. They're really great at that. We're a little different here in the sense that we fill a gap in this space in the sense that we do this and we do this and we do this. So, but look, it'd be great to connect. But and also, as you would have experienced, there's the demands of a very busy peak season are pretty intense. And it's always very, very useful for, and what I've found with my agents is that having an alternative there in peak times is very, very valuable. Knowing you've got someone in the wings there that you can call on at short notice who can deliver to promise in the event that your preferred supplier just can't accommodate you on that particular date. So that would be
so what's your sort of closing? Is it simply, well, thanks for your time and we'll follow up, or do you get some kind of call to action, or do you get into the
closing of the appointment?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So once you've run through that appointment, then the listening and learning and note-taking phase might take, 6 to 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you're going to craft a very brief response.
Right.
Don't feel like you need to nail them in that appointment. You're going to craft a very brief response, literally addressing everything you just learned about them.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Cherry picking, hand picking slides that showcase or highlight that you're their guy based on what they're telling you. Well, that's really great to hear you say that, because that's exactly what we do in this and that. Or really interesting point, you haven't been able to find that supplier's been able to A and B and C. That's exactly what we do for, you know what I mean? So that type of response. Okay.
Yep.
So it keeps it interesting for you because you're not just running through the same thing on autopilot 150,000 times. Don't feel like you need to win them in that 4 minutes. But your presentation should probably be broken into 2 parts: that initial introduction, then a listening and learning phase, then a crafting of a solution based on what you're hearing from them. All right.
Yep.
And then then you're only at first base. Okay.
Correct. That's right.
You finish the appointment. Yep. A lot of people fail. They struggle because they have this misguided belief that, well, I had this great appointment. They got all my information in the follow-up. Wow, the floodgate's going to open and then nothing happens. They're like, what the hell? I had this great appointment. I don't know what happened. Well, they've just, they said all these positive things. They love what we do, but then nothing happens. And so what you need to do is have a really well-crafted, thorough follow-up process. Okay. So that meaning, what you need to do first is put yourself in the shoes of a buyer. They go home, they've got 150 products to sift through, and they barely even remember who you were. If you walked into them in the street, they wouldn't have a clue who you are. They don't remember what you do. And so that's where it is. So you're only at first base. So from that point, you need a consistent follow-up process. Okay. Now, I'll just show you a couple of things. You can do this using a whole bunch of different mail delivery services. Okay, so you might use MailChimp. Okay, and MailChimp has let's try to load this up now. You can create what is known as I'm loading up very slowly here. I don't know why that is. You can create in MailChimp a customer journey, okay, which is like an automated email sequence. All right. So that's that's the first thing. And you'll have to dive in. I'm not here to sort of tell you about email marketing and then how to use these platforms. I use Connect 365.
Right.
And there's a bunch of others that you could use to do exactly the same thing. So Connect 365, I like it, and I've been using it regularly and learning a lot more about it because they've got campaigns that are really easy to set up here. They're unique in the sense that their emails come as seemingly personal emails, not automated emails.
Yep.
And open rates are something crazy high, like, you know, so the open rates here for my email campaigns. Whoops, no, that's not what I'm looking at. If this is not, you know, incredibly relevant, but it's just interesting to note. And I'm not trying to push any type of
platform.
but you know, 545 emails sent for 353 opens. That's like 60% open rate. Okay,
Correct. That's very high.
So
yeah, okay.
So anyway, so what you would do is set up an automated email sequence. And I'm going to see this recording. I don't need to remember this stuff, but let's say your first email would be, you know, great to connect last week. I'll obviously nothing sales or anything like that. You know, I'll be back in touch in like shortly. And I love to keep all of my agents in my network updated on developments and interesting things and stuff going on in my business. So I'll make sure I add you to the list for those updates. That's the first email. Okay?
Okay.
That would be automated. That would be email 1 in your sequence. The second email would not be in the sequence, it'd be personal. That'd be your follow-up email. Okay. And it would not be generic, it'd be personalized. It'd be like, you know, based on the conversations we had, it seemed like you're looking for this and this and this, and you know, and we had this great conversation and I thought you'd be interested in this. And I think that tackles, you know, that need or that gaping hole you've got in the experiences that you're not, you know, whatever it is, a personal email that would not be in the email sequence. Okay. And you want to start getting, you know, some communication going. And then I would be dropping them into this automated sequence. So you could make this up, but the sort of stuff you would do. Email 3 might be a generic sales call request. Hey, name,
Right.
I'm in the process of piecing together an inbound sales call, or, you know, sales update, product update. You know, I'm piecing it together at the moment, but would you be interested? Would it be okay? Would it make sense to you for me to come into the office at some point in April or in May or in June? And you could do that for foreign agents or Sydney based or you know, Australian based. You don't actually have to, you know, but it's just like a point of contact. Let me know how that would work for you. Is there scope for me to come in and train your team for 30 minutes? Okay. Make sure it's generic, make sure it sounds personal, but that you're sending it out. And so that would form, that would be email 2. Email 3 would be a familial request. You know,
right.
Hey, you know, do you have any staff in? Like, I'm piecing together a couple of familials, loosely thinking one in the middle of the year, one towards the end of the year. Love to get as many valued agents on board as possible. Would you have anyone in your res team that might like to come along? Let me know. And if there's specific, you know, ticks, you know, green, red flags or green lights, and I'll see what I can do to work around you. Remember, make it sound generic. Sorry, make it generic, but sounding personal.
Like
okay.
Personal. Yeah, that's right. Not generic. Yep.
Next one would be a training presentation. Hey, I've created this training presentation specifically for you guys. Run through my top, you know, 3 tours. It's just a Zoom that I've created this PowerPoint that runs you through every feature of Picture Me Sydney. Thought it'd be really valuable for you and your res team to see. You might even want to upload it into your training library. Okay. Hope you guys are well. All right. So that's email 3. Email 4, training presentation follow-up email. Hey, just following up. And I would space these 14 days apart. Hope you got that training presentation. Hope you've been able to share it with your team. Any questions, blah, blah, blah.
Go over a couple of months. Okay.
Next email. So I think we're up to like email 5. Every 2 weeks, every 2 weeks, you would send an email. Email 5 would be a video testimonial. And it could be you with your arms around a person on tour, like, Barry, how much fun was that today? Oh my God, Terry, that was just the greatest day. You're my hero. You're the greatest guy in the world. What did you love most about it? Because it seemed like you really loved that time when we did that thing and that thing. Terry, I've never seen anything like it. That was just like literally one of those moments I'll be telling my grandkids about in 50, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, awesome, mate. Looks so great to have you here. Another day in the life of Picture Me Sydney. 2-minute
Right.
video. Drop
Okay.
it onto a link. Thought you guys
Good.
would like to see this. Next email would be, is there anyone in your organization that I should add to my list for updates? You know, hey, you know, insert name of product manager. You like, just wanted to check with you. You know, as you would know by now, I send regular updates, things that are happening, exciting things, testimonials, videos, blah, blah, blah. Who should I add to my list? Is there anyone else in your insert company name that, you know, you think should be getting my updates? Let me know. Hope you're well. Next email would be a recent reviews. Hey, we've been getting some amazing reviews on TripAdvisor recently. Thought you guys would, you know, love to see some of them. Jump on the link. You'll be able to read. You'll be able to read them here. Hope you guys are well. Next one, onto images. Thought you like I got a little in a link. Couple of really cool things and a couple of great images that people have been taking on our trips in the last couple of weeks. Thought you guys would love them and appreciate them. Who knows? You might even want to add them to your photo library or your image library. Hope you guys are well. Okay. So then you get these like 6 months.
It's all about maintaining the relationship.
Exactly.
Rather than, like you said.
Automated.
Yeah, it's all
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
And then
Okay.
and then the next one, again, intertwine it with, hey, did I send you this email? Did I send you this subject? Rates and product information again. You know?
Yep.
Not sure if you know what I mean? So set up an automated 10 email sequence.
Yeah, I was just going to say, put it as a 10 pack. Yep. Okay. Every 2 weeks. Okay.
Yep. That's what you're
So
going to
then-
do.
All right. Good. Okay. So yeah, like as you said, mate, I just conceded they're going to be bombarded. Their head's going to be overflowing by the first day. So how do you differentiate between me and the other people they're seeing? So it's all about building the relationship and not trying to close the sale in 12 minutes.
100%. That's exactly
Right,
what it's
okay.
about.
So what do we do? Last question, mate, because I know you've got to start with the other. What just quickly, mate, with if it's a travel company based out of, let's say, America, but they say we do all our bookings through this third party who's based in Australia, be it Hello World or, you know, like where do you go with that? Because they say we don't book direct to you, Terry. We go through this intermediary.
Well,
So-
they're all going to book through an ITO.
Right.
So you just say, that's great. What's the process? Do you request specific products? Do you use the products that are in their system?
Yep.
What's the process? How does it work for you? Everyone's different. Okay.
Okay,
So
good.
You got to learn about them and how and about their processes. You're writing furious notes, okay, the whole time. All right.
Yep, good. Yep, got it.
And that's going to go into your personalized follow-up.
Yep.
And then everything else is going to go into like a 10 email automated.
Yep.
You know what?
Great.
It could even be 12 emails, but you know, once you've written it, it's there for life, and you just run.
Yeah, of course.
You just run agents through it, and you'll win business. I promise you, you'll win business. Okay.
Great. Yeah, good.
Everyone's going to
excellent.
know who you are.
Good. Thanks, mate.
Cool.
That's great,
No
Josh.
worries.